All right, guys, let's do B4 homework. We're going to factor and solve the quadratics in standard form when a is greater than 0, aka positive. So we're going to assume, no, we're not going to assume anything. All right, so let's do number 1. First thing I always look for is, can a GCF come out? 2, 7, and 6. No, GCF cannot come out, right? The greatest common factor. So we do our method. Depending on what they've taught you, I do mine a very particular way. A times C goes in the bottom part of the triangle. And in standard form, we're talking about the coefficients, A, B, and C. And then B goes in the top. So what we're saying is, GCF can't come out, so we have to do A times C. So 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. We come up with a list of numbers that multiply to make 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. There's the list. This has to add up to 7. Now, moving forward, I'm not going to write B, A, and C. Just on this first one, understand where things go. And we look to see which combination adds up to 7. So, nope, right here. So these numbers go right into our factors. X plus 3, X plus 4. This is equal to 0. Okay, so the method that we're doing is called the slide and divide method. Right, I didn't come up with it. What we're doing, the sliding part of the method, that's the 2 times 6. Right, when we do 2 times 6 or A times C, some people call it the AC method. It's the slide and divide method is what we were doing here. Okay, so A times C, so 2 times 6, that's the slide part. Then, the most forgotten about part is the divide part. So we have to divide these numbers by whatever we multiplied by, like the A value. So we slide A to multiply, and then we have to divide A back out. So this is going to be divide by 2, divide by 2. Okay, we reduce as much as possible. So the only one that can reduce is the X plus 2, right? 4 divided by 2. All right, if the number cannot reduce, the fraction that is, right, 3 divided by 2 is not a whole number. So what we do is we take the 2 and we bring it up to be the coefficient in front of X. So then this is going to be 2X plus 3. And we're done. That's the factors. These are the factors. So if you multiply these out, if you were to FOIL this out, we're not going to, but if you were to FOIL it out, we'll get the original problem. All right. So 2x plus 3, x plus 2. Right, those are the factors. The roots, or the solutions, or the x-intercepts, or whatever word you want to use, the solutions is fine, inside lies. So this is going to be x is equal to negative 3 over 2. And x is equal to negative 2. So where did negative 3 over 2 come from? So we say, we've been teaching that the inside lies. Right, well, whatever this number is on the inside is the opposite. That's why the x plus 2 now becomes x equals negative 2. Right, so you take the opposite of the symbol. All right, the coefficient that is in front of x, that guy goes down here. So one way to find the solutions is to quickly look right here. Right, like it's literally the opposite of that. So if this is x plus 3 over 2, well, then the roots would be x is equal to negative 3 over 2. And that's exactly what we got. But that's how you find it from the factors, just understanding how to move the numbers around. All right, let's look at number 2. Again, GCF, nothing comes out. So we go straight to the process. Again, 4 times negative 3, negative 12. This has to add up to negative 1. Okay, two numbers that multiply to make 12. Okay, same list as before, right? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Now, the way I do it is I first do the number. Whatever the number is, 12. Get my numbers all situated. All right, here's my list. Then I look at the symbols, right? This is a negative 12. So I know I need to multiply two things together to make a negative number. Therefore, one of these sides must be negative. Is it this side or is it this side? So the way I write my numbers, I always put the smaller number on the left, big numbers on the right. Okay. Analyze the B value. I need to add these two numbers together so that it equals a negative number. Therefore, the big side has to be negative, right? Because 1 plus negative 12 is negative 11. 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4. 3 plus negative 4 is negative 1. This is actually the one we want. But let's just say that you didn't know that, or you made a mistake, and you put the negatives on the other side. But when you add these together, something should feel funny, because it goes negative 1 plus 12 is positive 11. Negative 2 plus 6, positive 4. Negative 3 plus 4, positive 1. Right? That's not what we want. So that's why it's not on that side. It has to be on the other side. So I always just analyze the symbols on the numbers, right? Negative 12, negative 1. So long story short, the big side gets the number. And we said it was 3, negative 4. So the factors are going to be x plus 3, x minus 4. But we have to remember to divide out the 4, right? Because that's what we multiplied by. That's what we have to divide out. So then the factors are going to be 4x plus 3, right? Because if you can't reduce it, you bring the number up. And then 4 divided by 4 is 1. So x minus 1. The solutions, just as easy. X equals negative 3/4. X equals positive 1. All right, you can always pause the video, rewind it to maybe you missed something that I said. Okay. Number 3. 2, 15, and 18. GCF. The 15's messing it up. I can't pull out anything. So we go straight to the method. 2 times 18, 36. Has to add up to 15. So two numbers that multiply to make 36. 1 and 36. Now, if you can get there faster, get there faster. I'm just going through the list just because. 3 and 12. 4 and 9. 6 and 6. All right, they're all positive. 15's positive. They're all positive. Okay, I add them together so that I get 15. Nope. This one. There's always going to be one, right? Or there won't be any, which we'll cross that bridge later. So there it is, 3 and 12. So these numbers go right into the factors. X plus 3, x plus 12. We have to remember to divide out the 2. And this is going to be 2, x plus 3, right? Because 3 over 2 can't reduce. X plus 12 divided by 2, 6. So the factors, 2x plus 3 times x plus 6. The solutions, x is equal to negative 3 over 2. X is equal to negative 6, right? Inside lies. Okay, number 4. Again, GCF every time. 34 is messing this up, right? Because I can't take a 3 out of 34. So right away, no GCF. All right, this is quite unfortunate because the numbers are going to get huge. All right. 3 times 63. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 6 is 18. 189. We need a calculator for sure. Negative 34. Okay. I got to come up with two numbers that multiply that make 189. Okay, normally I start with 1, but 1's not going to work. Right, I know 1's not going to work. All right, so we start going through using calculator, right? 189 divided by every number. I mean, I know 1 and 189 is not going to work, right? But 1 times 1, 189, or 1 times 189. 2 is not going to work. 3 times 63. How'd I get that? 189 divided by 3. 4 is not going to work because 2 didn't work. 5 is not going to work because the last number is a 9. 6 didn't work. 7 times 27. I'm actually going to stop there, only because I can already see it. 7 and 27, when I add them together, I can make 34. But it's negative 34. So remember, you're multiplying two numbers together. Has to equal positive 189. So both sides have to be negative, right? Because a negative times a negative is a positive. You add the two negatives together, it equals a negative. So this is the list. So it's going to be negative 7 and negative 27, right? You add those together, it gets negative 34. Okay, this goes into our factors. X minus 7, x minus 27. But I have to remember to divide out the 3. So the factors are going to be 3, x minus 7, x minus 9, because 27 divided by 3. Okay, just so we're clear. The 189, right, use your calculator, and you just start dividing 189 by whatever number. Start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're only looking at the whole numbers, right? The answer has to be a whole number. Like, I don't care about the decimals, because we want a clean whole number multiplication. Or factor, rather. Okay, so the solutions. X equals positive 7/3. X equals positive 9. Okay, number 5. All right, this one's nice because the GCF, we can take something out. They're all even. Question is what? For sure a 2, but I don't want to have to do this multiple times. Like, will 4 work? 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 6 is 24. So yeah, I can take out a 4. And left behind, 12 divided by 4 is 3. 28 divided by 4 is 7. And then 24 divided by 4 is 6. Okay, 3, 7, and 6. All right, no more GCFs can come out. So we go straight to our process. Slide the 3 over. 3 times negative 6, negative 18. We need this to add up to negative 7. Okay, two numbers that multiply to make negative 18. One of them has to be negative for sure. But 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, 4. Nope. Okay. Which one's negative? Well, you have to look here. Because that's a negative number, the big one. the big number. So then we look to see which one adds up to -7. 2 and -9. 2 and -9. Okay, these go into our factors. So first off, the 4 has to still be here. This is going to be x plus 3, x minus 6. We have to remember to divide out the 3, right? Because the 3 is the number that we slid over. So you're always dividing by the a value. Always divide by the a. Oh, this is nice because look, everything reduces. So my factors are going to be x plus 1, x minus 2. Right? If you were to FOIL all this out and run the 4 through, you would get the original problem. Oh no, maybe you saw it. Wow. It's because I'm going fast. This should have been a 2. What was I looking at? 3 and 6. What the heck? Okay, my bad. Yo, my fault. So wait, that's a 9. Yo. Two and 9. So then that actually changes everything. All right, starting from here. X plus 2 divided by 3. X minus 9 divided by 3. Can't believe I did that. Okay. 3x plus 2. 2 over 3 doesn't reduce. 9 over 3 will reduce. And this is going to be x minus 3. Right, because as I was talking about foiling everything out, it wasn't working out, but we caught it. It shows that, mistakes can happen if you're not paying attention. Okay, the solutions. -2 over 3 and positive 3. That was going to be bad. All right, number 6. GCF. Just off the bat, they're all even. So I know I can take a 2 out. Can't pull a 4 out of 38. Can't pull an 8 out of 38. Okay, so we're definitely taking out 2. Right, I'm going to divide 2 out of everything. So this is going to be 2. 4x squared plus, what's half of 38? 19 minus 5 equals 0. Okay. 19's messing it up. Actually, 19 and 5, right? Like there's nothing else I can take out. So let's start our process. 4 times -5. 4 times -5. -20. Adds up to 19, positive. Okay, so the list, 1 and 20. 1 times 20, and I know I can make a 19 somehow because it needs to be negative when I multiply. So -1, right? Multiply them together to make a negative number. 1 has to be negative. Which one, the small one or the big one? Look at 19. 19 is a positive number. So it has to be the smaller number. So these go right into the factors. This is going to be x minus 1, x plus 20. Then we divide out. What are we dividing out? The 4. So the factors, 2, 4x minus 1, x plus 20 divided by 4 is 5. Did I mention this on the last one? Yes. Okay, so this number in front, if you factor out the GCF, that has to be part of the answer. I don't know if I mentioned that on the last one, but there was a number that we factored out the GCF that has to be part of the factors. Now, they're my factors. The solutions, that GCF has no impact over the solutions, right? Like that number means nothing to the solutions. So this is going to be positive 1/4 and -5. Right, that 2 doesn't affect the solutions. It does affect the factors, right? Because if that wasn't there and you try to FOIL it out, we're not going to get the original equation. I want to say something else right here, but I don't want to confuse you. We could have just got rid of the 2 altogether, but that wouldn't be a factor. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. So the 2, since we pulled out the GCF, has to be in the answer for the factors, that is. And then the solutions are what the solutions are. Okay. Number 7. Okay, GCF. Can something come out? 6, 33, and 36. I can definitely take out a 3. So I'm going to take a 3 out. So basically what I was saying a moment ago, if I divided everything by 3 and got rid of the 3 completely, right? You can divide 0 by 3, but that's going to change the problem, right? Like the factors won't be what the factors are supposed to be. So let's just factor out the GCF. Only on the left side. Leave the 0 alone. So then this is going to be 3, 2x squared, plus 11x, plus 12 is equal to 0. Okay, looking at this on the inside, this is going to be 2 times 12, which is 24, needs to add up to 11, positive 11. So we got 1, 24, 2, 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. All right, 3 and 8 is definitely our guy. 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, we're adding them together. So this is going to be x plus 3, x plus 8 equals 0. Remember to divide by the a value, which in this case was 2. So the factors, (2x plus 3), x plus 4. Now the solutions, inside lies x equals negative 3 over 2, x equals negative 4. Okay. Moving right along. Number 8. GCF can't come out. Right, there's no GCF between 1, 2, and 3. So we slide the 2 over. 2 times 1, 2. That's nice. Adds up to 3. The list is short. What multiples of 2? 1 times 2. Add them together, it makes 3. So this is it. Factors are going to be x plus 1, x plus 2. And then we just remember to divide out the 2. So our factors are 2x plus 1, x plus 1. Solutions, inside lies, x equals negative 1/2, x equals negative 1. All right, number 9. Same thing. GCF won't come out, so we multiply the 6 times 1. Oops. That just looks funny. 6 times -1 is -6. We need this to add up to -1. So a couple ways to make 6. 1 times 6, 2 times 3. But it needs to be -6. Therefore, one side needs to be negative. Small side or big side? When we look at the number, -1, therefore big side. So when we add them together, 2 and -3 add up to -1. So this is going to be x plus 2, x minus 3. And then we divide out the a. So divide by 6. Okay. When we reduce, this is going to be, so notice this is the first time we haven't had a second line right here, but the 2 over 6 reduces to 1/3. I'll go ahead and just write this right now. 3 over 6 reduces to 1/2. So that's as far as they reduce. The actual factors are 3x plus 1, 2x minus 2. Right? Remember, when it doesn't reduce anymore, these bottom numbers go up. The solutions, x equals -1/3, x equals +1/2. You could actually look here for the roots. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm getting them so quick. Right before you swing the numbers up, you can actually see the solutions. Okay. To the back. How many's on this page? Okay. Number 10. 12, 5, and -2. GCF can't come out. The 5 is messing it up. So straight to our method. 2 times or 12 times -2 is -24. This needs to add up to 5. All right, I'm going to start getting a little quicker on these because just for time purposes. 8 and 3 make 24. And I can make a 5 for sure. So it's like one of them has to be negative. The 5 is positive. So the small one. Right, 8 times -3 is -24. 8 plus -3 is +5. So then my factors are x plus 8, x minus 3. Remembering to divide out the a, which was 12. That's ugly. Reducing, this makes, all right, 8 over 12. 4 over 6. 2 over 3. And then x minus 3 over 12. 3 goes into 12 4 times. So 1/4. So what I was saying in the last problem is that right now I know my solutions, right? Like really, if you skip the factor part, -2/3, +1/4. Right, that's actually really nice. And the factors, just move the denominators up in front of the x. 3x plus 2, 4x minus 1. It's a nice little result. Okay, number 11. Compare 10 and 11 real quick. Something is not quite right. Only because it's equal to 3. We want this to be equal to 0, right? All these problems that we've done has been equal to 0. That's the only way to factor these using this method. So I'm going to -3 from both sides. So this is really 10x squared plus x minus 3 equals 0. And there's no GCF because 10, 1, and 3, right? There's nothing common. So slide the 10 over. 10 times -3 is -30. and then we want this to add up to 1. Positive 1. Okay, so since we want to add it up to 1, we're looking for the numbers that multiply that are close together, right? Consecutive. 5 and 6. 5 times 6 is 30. So knowing your times tables really comes in clutch. 5 times 6 is 30, but we want negative 30. So is it the 5 or the 6 that's negative? The small one or the big one? Well, look at the 1. The 1's positive. That means the big one has to be positive. Therefore, the small number will get the negative. I mean, it definitely takes practice. You're going to have to really, really think about it. It's not a fast decision for sure. Okay, x minus 5, x plus 6. Divide by, what was our a value? 10. All right, let's reduce. Make them in blue. So this is going to be, what's 10 over 5 reduced, or 5 over 10 reduced to? 1/2. 6 over 10. 3 over 5, right? Half of each. They're both even. You can just half them. 3 over 5. Okay. Right now, I know that those are my solutions. I'm going to slightly go out of order just because I'm trying to make you better. So inside lies negative 3 over 5. So right now I know that inside lies. So I know the solutions. The factors, however, we can rearrange the denominators. So 2x minus 1, 5x plus 3. Okay. Number 12. Again, same idea. This needs to be equal to 0. So 4x squared plus x minus 3 is equal to 0. All I did was subtract the 3 over. No GCF. So we multiply 4 times negative 3. This makes negative 12. Adds up to 1. Again, I need some consecutive numbers that multiply to make 12 that add up to 1. It's going to be 3 and 4. But one of them needs to be negative. It's the small one. Because negative 3 plus 4 equals positive 1. Okay, this goes into factors. X minus 3, x plus 4. Divide by a. A in this case was 4. Okay, this one's going to be 4 over 4 is 1. That's the only thing that reduces. So this is x equals positive 3 over 4. X equals negative 1. So the factors are going to be 4x minus 3, x plus 1. Sorry if I'm going out of order, but it's just, when you notice things, you notice things. Okay, these are getting ugly. And they switched the variable. Okay, so number 13. We're going to subtract 30, right? Because it has to be equal to 0. All right, this is going to be 2x squared minus 7x minus 30 is equal to 0. 2, 7, and 30, no GCF. So 2 times negative 30, negative 60. Needs to add up to negative 7. All right. 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12. 5 times 12 is 60. I'm going to stop there. That's the one, right? This is going to be the one we want, but we got to get our symbols correct. So I need this to multiply to make a negative, so one of them has to be negative. Add them together, they have to equal a negative. Therefore, the big one has to be negative. So 5 take away 12 is negative 7. So going to our factors, x plus 5, x minus 12. Remembering to divide out the a. So divide by 2, divide by 2. Reducing when we can. This is going to stay the same. I could move the 2 right now, but why? All right, so I know that my solutions are going to be, because inside lies, negative 5 over 2, positive 6. Right, I know it. Now the factors, I'll just move the denominator in front of the x. 2x plus 5, x minus 6. Okay, 14. They switched the variable on us. It's a, it's okay. Treat it like an x. It's just a variable. But we're going to minus 5 over first. It's got to be equal to 0. So 6a squared minus 7a minus 5 is equal to 0. GCF between 6, 7, and 5, there is not one. So slide the 6 over. This is going to be 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. Must add up to negative 7. Okay. 1 and 30. 2 and 15. 3 and 10. All right, that's the one. Right, 3 and 10 can make a 7 somehow. And it's like, it has to be negative. So the big one, right? Because negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. Put this into our factors. X plus 3, x minus 10. Divide by a. What was a? 6. So when we reduce, this is going to be x plus 1/2. X minus 5 over 3. Right, half of 10, half of 6. 5 over 3. So I know my solutions are going to be negative 1 over 2 and positive 5 over 3. Can't reduce them anymore, so I'm going to make the denominator go in front of the coefficient. So 2x plus 1, 3x minus 5. Right, these numbers just go up. That's what we've been doing. Okay. 15. All right, so you might have the instinct to move this one this way because it's less things, right? You can. It's just going to make the a coefficient negative, and you're going to have to divide everything by negative 1, right? It's more of a pain to do that. So just move them in such a way so that the a stays positive, right? Like we want the a coefficient, the coefficient that is a, to be positive. So this is going to be 8x squared plus 7x minus 1 equals 0. Right, all I did was just move everything over. 1, 8, and 7. No GCF can come out of this. So start the process. This is going to be 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. I want this to add up to 7 somehow. So 1 and 8. I need positive 7. So 8 take away 1. Or negative 1 plus 8, however you want to look at it. This is going to be x minus 1, x plus 8. Divide by the a value. A was 8. 8 over 8 is just 1. So this is going to be, I'll write it right here. That doesn't change. So then my solutions, x equals positive 1/8, x equals negative 1. And then we'll move the denominator of the first factor up. 8x minus 1 times x plus 1. Okay. We almost done? Yeah, we are. Okay. Oh my goodness. Where did I? Okay. Sorry. These should have been A's. I just felt I felt a disturbance in the force. These should have been A's. It's just like you get in a habit of just writing X's. So maybe you saw it and you were screaming. A. Wow. All right. Should have been A's, right? But I understand what you were trying to say. All right, these are Y's. So our answers are going to be Y's. We have to remember to do that. Okay, we're going to rewrite this. 3y squared minus 4y minus 15 is equal to 0, right? All I did was move them over by doing the opposite, right? Subtracting 4y, subtracting 15. Okay, 3, 4, 15. There's no GCF. So we slide the 3 over. 3 times negative 15, 15, 30, 45. Negative 45 has to add up to negative 4. Okay, ways to multiply to make 45. 1 and 45, 2 doesn't work. 3 works. Well, obviously 3 times 15. Haha. 4, 5 times 9. I can make a 4 out of 5 and 9. So one of them has to be negative. The big one. Because negative 9 times 5 is negative 45. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. This is the one. Okay. Into the factors we go. This is x plus 5. Oh, I did it again. Y plus 5. Y minus 9. We have to remember to divide by the a value. A in this case was 3. So this is going to be y plus 5 over 3. Y minus 3, right? Because 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay. Solutions. Y is equal to negative 5/3. Y is equal to positive 3. The factors are going to be 3y plus 5, y minus 3. All right, we're back to good old x's. Okay, all we have to do is subtract the 7 from both sides. So 3x squared plus 20x minus 7 equals 0. 3, 20, and 7. No GCF. Slide the 3. So this is going to make negative 21. We have to somehow make a 20. Ooh. 1 and 21. That's the one. Needs to be positive, so the small one needs to get the negative symbol. Right, because negative 1 plus 21, positive 20. Factors. X minus 1. X plus 21. Divide the a. So this is going to make a 7. So the solutions are x equals positive 1/3, x equals -7. So the factors, 3x minus 1, x plus 7. Okay, last one. All right, when we rearrange this to equal 0, we want to position the x in the middle. So this is going to be 15x squared plus 36x, right, because we're moving it over, plus 12 is equal to 0. 15, 36, and 12, they do have something in common. It's a 3. So we'll take a 3 out. We're going to get 5x squared plus 12x plus 4. Right, 12 divided by 3. 5, 12, and 4 do not have a GCF. So start the process now. 5 times 4 is 20. Need to add up to 12. 10 and 2. Right, 2 times 10 is 20. 2 plus 10 is 12. So factors are going to look like x plus 2, x plus 10 equals 0. Divide the a. Our a was 5. Reduce. This is going to reduce to 2. 2/5 doesn't reduce. So our solutions, x equals -2/5, x equals -2. So the factors are going to be 3, 5x plus 2, x plus 2. All right, guys, there it is. Hopefully this helps someone. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.